What's going on, everybody? What's going on? How everybody doing this evening, man? How everybody doing? Ooh, y'all hear that phone going off, man? Might have came across another little Philippine. Oh, man. Yeah, I'm excited, man. Been over here. I pretty much just been like looking at hotels, Airbnbs, and apartments all day, and I just booked my second flight for Cebu from Manila to Cebu. So like I already got that booked. I've been had the other flight booked to get to Manila. I booked my I booked my apartment for my stay in Manila. It's pretty nice, man. I kind of got it for a steal, man. I don't know. I guess it was just one of those timing things where it was like, yeah, this discount is for a limited time only. Yeah, let me go ahead and snatch that real quick. So I hopped on that, and yeah, man, just trying to be smart, man. So shout out to guys like Global Passport Crew. I see you in the chat, man. He has been a big help, man, as far as just, budgeting your money, man, and getting the best bang for your buck. Cause traveling is not cheap, you guys. That's why I always find it real funny when they call passport bros dusty and broke. I'm like, okay, whatever. Let's see who we got in the building, man. Discerning Dash, what's going on? Team Peterson, Jamal, what's going on? Yeah, man. Garden Scientist, what's going on? Donald, what's up? Jay Fleming in the building, boy. Yeah, man. He doing it big in Colombia. He all over Colombia, man. I've never even heard of that part of Colombia, Jay. Man, I have to check that out, man. Next time I go back, I go back to Colombia in June. Pooh Man 313, what's going on, sir? The other mic in the building, what's going on, man? I see you with your Filipina in the picture. All right, then, G. See who? Okay, my moderator, Shadow Slayer, in the building. Shadow Slayer, please do me a favor. Can you please put Mike Philippine's journey link to his channel in the chat for me, please? Please do that for me. Appreciate you, sir. Mr. Guap, what's going on, sir? All righty, man. Go to Ethiopia, fat your head will be on a swivel. All right. I find it. I'm really interested to see what made Austin Holloman go to Tanzania, but that's a whole nother story. We're not focused on that today, although we might touch a little bit on African history, which reminds me. Give me guys 1 second. I'm gonna be bringing my guest on in a minute. Okay. I wanted to make sure. I almost lost my notes. All right. All righty. Let's see. Pen here. All righty. All right. Let's see. All right. I apologize for you guys. Let me go ahead and put that on mute. Because y'all don't want to hear that all night. So we got Joseph. All right. Joseph Batista, what's going on, bro? Mr. Guap, I see you. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and bring on our guest. I've had him on here before. It's been a while. But as you guys know, I'm leaving for the Philippines Tuesday. So I figured, what better time than now to bring him on? I'm pretty much gonna be going over Philippine stuff all weekend. All right, so without further ado, let's go ahead and bring in our guest tonight, Mike's Philippine Journey, man. How you doing, sir?
What's going on, man? How's everything?
Nothing, man. Just anxious, excited, and all over the place, man. Because like a lot is going on last minute. I've been dealing with like some other personal stuff that's kind of like been getting in the way, but just just trying to keep my head up and just keep my focus on things, man. I'm really excited. I'm really excited about the Philippines, man.
That's good, man. I mean, where are you landing though? Are you landing in Manila, Cebu?
I'm going to Manila first.
Okay.
I'm going there for a couple weeks, and then from there I'm gonna go to Cebu. But I really haven't decided on how long I'm gonna stay in Cebu because originally it was gonna be 2 weeks, and then somebody kind of convinced me to go there and go to Boracay because apparently Cebu is like boring, but I'm supposed to be meeting other YouTubers that I promised that I would go there anyway. So I figured, well, maybe if I do like maybe 9 or 10 days in Cebu, and then maybe do like 3, 4, 5 days in Boracay, since Boracay seems to be more like a getaway spot anyway, because that's not somewhere I would want to stay for like a whole week or two. Like,
you can party there, man.
For real,
you can party Boracay, man. So especially summertime right now. You can definitely have a good party in Boracay and stuff like that. So like in Manila, what's your plan in Manila, man? What's the big plan over there?
Well, let's see. I'm supposed to be linking up with YouTubers there too, and like let's see, I'm supposed to be meeting up with Joanne. I'm
Okay,
supposed to
she's
be
in
I'm supposed to
QC.
I'm supposed to be meeting up with Black Filipino TV.
Jay's my
Um,
boy.
there's another Filipina that I had on my channel. Matter of fact, I had her on my channel while I was in Colombia.
Mm.
Gail, beautiful girl, Gail. I'm supposed to meet up with her as well.
Oh, that's
And
cool, man.
then there's like a few other women who said, they would show me around and kind of be like
Mm.
my tour guide and stuff. So, just kind of like, kind of got boots on the ground, and so that way when I do get there, I don't feel like I'm just like all by myself, and kind of like how I was when I went to Colombia, because like when I went to Colombia, I already kind of had like people expecting me and waiting for me. So it's kind of the same setup, but it's like as far as like what I'm gonna get into, man, that's pretty much up in the air, man. I'm down for anything, man. I'm just looking forward to the adventure, to be honest with you. Whatever happens, happens. I
Yeah,
just long as I'm safe.
definitely. So Quezon City, just stay in the Timog area. It's a street. So you have Timog and Tomas Morato, but Tomas Morato is a street there. That whole line of street right there is like lots of resto bars and coffee shops and things to do over there. So definitely check that place out when you're in Quezon City. I'm sure Joanne can direct you to the right direction. You definitely got to check out the night scene over at BGC, Bonifacio Global City. Truly recommend any young guys coming to the Philippines, check out BGC. You just go to there's a couple nice clubs over there at the Palace. There's like 3 clubs in the Palace over there. That's a definitely good place to go to and hang out. A little expensive
Oh,
though.
okay. Cause I was hearing a lot about Makati. So I ended up
Mm,
because the place that the apartment that I booked is actually like a couple miles out from Makati.
mm.
So and
Okay,
Joanne recommended that area too. So I figured why not?
so she's taking you to like the P Burgos area. Probably, yeah. I mean, it's a good party zone as well. Like lots of resto bars as well. So there's no problem at all that. But that's where there's what they call the old triangle there.
Hmm.
So so in the old triangle, that's the old red light district in the Philippines. But
Oh.
it's been minimized already, right? So there's only like one street really that has them.
Mhm.
Um, so there's a lot of stuff to do. It's called the Poblacion area, the northern part where there's a lot of the old red lights district bars were turned into like really nice small bars and clubs and stuff like that. So it's cleaned up pretty much.
Oh, okay. That's cool. That's cool.
Hmm.
Oh, all right. Okay. So let's see. Where do I want I guess we can start here because
Yeah,
I've always wanted to because I've always kind of wanted to ask you this. We'll work our way up.
sure.
Because as you guys know, his channel name is Mike's Philippine Journey. I got it up on the screen. Please
Okay.
subscribe to his channel, man. He is very informative. Um, but my question for you is, what other countries have you been to? And out of all of the countries you have been to, why does the Philippines stand out above the rest?
So countries: South Korea, Japan, Colombia, Mexico, Dominican Republic, Costa Rica,
Mm.
Canada, of course, America, right? So US, um, Italy, France, Germany, UK.
Oh, wow.
Am I missing? Spain. Spain. There you go.
Mm.
So that's the thing. I mean, a lot of people. If so, the reason why Philippines is number one is, I have Filipino blood, right? But
Okay.
my majority of my blood is I'm quarter Irish, half Spanish, and then quarter Filipino.
Oh, okay.
So but but yeah, but I lived in the Philippines when I was younger, 5 years. Went to grade school there, and then I've been coming back ever since. I mean, ever since I was like 21, I started going back almost like every year, and then there was like a 3 year I didn't go because that's when I was married. So I was so, you can't go because I'll tell you one thing, like, everybody knows if you've gone to the Philippines, if you know Filipinos enough and you're dating someone or you're married to someone and they know Filipinas, and then they say, hey, my man's going by himself to the Philippines. Oh, the Filipinas that they know will tell him right away, don't let him go there by himself.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I'm like that. Yeah, I'm like you sound like a lot of the guys in the comments that's been telling me, like, Jerome, as soon as you get off the plane, bro, you gonna say they're gonna be waiting for you. I'm like, I don't think it's that serious, but I mean, I know what some guys, I know what guys mean when they say that, but I'm like, I don't know, man. They've been pushing it pretty hard on me, man. Oh,
Yeah,
we got a super chat
I do.
already.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Go
My
ahead.
my my, my bad. I just want to, because I didn't realize we had a super chat already. Global Passport Crew, $10 super chat says, if you are not subscribed to Mike's channel, you are doing yourself a big disservice. Mike is a wealth of information regarding life in the Philippines. Boy, that is a bona fide fact. Oh, wrong one. Apologize. Yeah. Yeah, because we're gonna dive into that as well, because I definitely want to get into that also. But so you say you started going back again when you were 21, stopped for
Mm-hmm.
about 3 years because you were married.
Yeah.
Um, what we so how did you? So I'm like, so how did you like learn so much about the history? Like, did you like, was that like through school, or did you wait till you started going back and forth? Like, how did that come about?
Well, number one, I was curious. I've been around a lot of Filipinos since I was younger, anyways. Plus, like I said, I lived in the Philippines. My parents, they they grew up in the Philippines, but
Right.
they were considered foreigners, right? Because my dad was half Irish and half Spanish,
Mm,
and my mom was half Spanish and Chinese and Filipino. So what transpired with there was that they were, you can even say, upper social class in the Philippines, right? So because my mom was very came from a political family, and what they call hacienderos, which is the term for Spanish people who owns land in the Philippines. So even though they, it's just been always like Spanish blood, they were still almost like considered not Filipino sometimes.
oh wow.
So, so that's their upbringing, but they moved to the Philippines when they were in their 20s. They met in Chicago actually, and then that's where I was born.
Oh
So I've
wow.
I've always had Filipino, but the thing though is my parents never. My mom spoke one dialect, my dad spoke another dialect. So they spoke English in the house. Like my father had to learn my mom's dialect because my mom just didn't have time to learn my dad's dialect. Because my dad spoke English, pure and Spanish and Bicolano. My mom spoke English and Binisaya. So the that's so. But in the house, it was always English. So we've always had that the Filipino life. But when we're in the U.S., it was like my parents were like, no, you have to acclimate yourself with the culture in the United States and stuff like that. So people ask me like, hey, Michael, what nationality are you? Well, I'm American. I mean, if you ask me what blood I am, I'm a mixture of so many different things. And I'll claim Spanish more than I'll claim Filipino because that's 50% of my body.
Right. Okay. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. So, so for the guys that don't know, because I'm like, that's why I wanted to leave this chat up. Like, can you give us like somewhat of a like shortened version? I mean, if you feel like you gotta lay it all out, man, the floor is yours. I ain't gonna stop you, but I'm like, just to kind of like give us a version of like the history of the Philippines, because I remember you went over it like a small bit the last time you were here, but that was so long ago, and the audience has kind of grown
Mhm.
since then, man. So for the people at home that probably aren't familiar, especially these detractors, because I'm pretty sure I got a troll somewhere watching, and they probably don't want to show their face in the chat, or they will watch the playback eventually.
Or my trolls might show up.
Oh yeah, yeah,
You
your
know,
troll.
they come to your channel, man.
Yeah, I still find that so weird. I'm like, why are y'all trolls coming? Why is his trolls coming to my channel? I'm like, I don't get it.
We can go into it a little bit later on why, because there's actually a good explanation to it. But just going to the history of the Philippines wise, Philippines is 7,000 over 7,100 islands. There's more than 170 dialects in the Philippines of different languages, right? So It's but there's three main groups in the Philippines, or what they call ancestors of the Philippines. That's the Negritos, the Malays, and the Indios, right? So coming from different portion of things, and so the part within the Negrito culture, that's where you have a lot of the Aitas and stuff like that, which is you find them a lot more in the mountains nowadays, like in Baguio area. So those are typically the people like that they'll say is like pretty much if you look at them, you know, they're literally black people, but short,
Right.
right? But when it comes to the history of the Philippines, the name Philippines was created because of it was named after King Philip of Spain, so that's why
Right.
it's called Philippines. The original people who were called Filipinos were actually Spanish people who lived in the Philippines, not the
Mm.
people in the country. Okay,
Okay.
so that's pretty much that portion of things, and then eventually everyone was called Filipinos. And then you start looking at the different stages of how it became a republic of the Philippines. Um, Originally it was owned by Spain, and eventually, like after this, Spain and America has been getting wars a long time ago, right? So Texas, Mexico, and all that stuff, right? So there's been always a Spanish American War happening. Eventually, America fought a war against Spain, so the Spanish American War, which happened in a lot in the Philippines, especially. Um, so that was the skirmish right there. Filipinos sided with the Americans to fight against the Spanish people to kick them out, and eventually, what ended up happening was there was a treaty. I believe it's the Treaty of Paris between Spain and America. Instead of granting the Philippines freedom, America bought the Philippines from Spain. I think it was for $5 million, if I'm correct. And so when that occurred, Filipinos went up against America, right? So there was like a huge genocide of Filipinos in the Philippines. That's why there's a lot of resentment sometimes of some Filipinos against Americans because it was a
Mm.
genocide. And so that right after that was like right after Civil War. So right after Civil War, they actually started sending majority of the soldiers being sent to the Philippines were actually the Buffalo soldiers, black
Mm. Okay.
soldiers. And so, that's when the little explanation I gave before was just talking about the how close knit between Filipinos and Black Americans are.
Right.
It's been going on since around that time. So, and a lot of the Buffalo soldiers actually left the Americans, the army, and joined forces with Filipinos to fight against the Americans because they saw how the Filipinos were being called and treated. They were being called the N word. They were being called, dirt people and all those kind of things, right? So, so
Wow.
that's the beginning of that stuff. And eventually, um, the Philippines was granted to become its own country. First president was a puppet president, Emilio Aguinaldo. Um, and then what ended up happening in the 1940s, obviously, was the World War II, and then Japan invaded the Philippines, and and so now this is where we are at.
So does Japan invading have to have a little bit to do with them having a little bit of their look somewhat as well?
No, there's actually not a lot of Japanese in the Philippines, like looks, like Japanoise as they call.
Yeah.
It's more Chinese. So
Okay.
China has always been trading with the Philippines, especially during the Spanish galleon trades that was occurring, around the 1560s and stuff like that. So, there's always been the first ever Chinatown outside China was actually in the Philippines. So the oldest Chinatown in the world is in the Philippines. And I actually recommend anybody who goes to the Philippines, you do a food trip in Chinatown and enjoy yourself there. So that's an option to kind of it's by Ongpin is the name. So I mean, so Chinese has always been in the Philippines. So there's still a lot of what we call Chinoys in the Philippines, half Chinese, half Filipinos, or just pure blooded Chinese that just were born in the Philippines.
Okay. Interesting. All right. So what was, because I remember you, okay, because you said you're from there.
Mhm.
Uh but like as far as let's see. Hold on. So when you said you first started going back when you were 21, or did you start going back before then?
No, when I left the Philippines, grade I finished half of sixth grade. I remember that because that was 1989. I arrived February 1990. I went back once when I was like 13. And then after that, never came back till I was 21.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. I just wanted to make sure before I asked you this question. So when from 21, so we'll start at 21.
Mm.
So what was that first experience like? Because I'm like, because at this point you're a grown man,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You probably, probably want to hit the scene, kind of do your thing. Like, what was that like?
it was chaos. It was chaos. Like I can tell you why. Like so, my boy, a best friend till now. He ride or die. He's my travel partner and all that stuff. So he went through a breakup, right? He
Mm-hmm.
went through a breakup, and he was dating this Filipina slash Mexican girl, right? And he was engaged to her and everything. And the boy was heartbroken, right? So he's just like, you know what, man? Let's go to the Philippines. I was like, where'd that come from? I'm like, why are we going to the Philippines? He goes, let's go to the Philippines. And I was like, all right, whatever, man. Sure, let's do it. Right. And so around that time, like, there was no YouTube, there's no videos, there's no nothing, right? So I have no clue about the Philippines. I bought a Philippine tour book, guide, whatever. That was like worthless to me. Um, and I remember he called me one day, he goes, bro, I found an ebook. I was like, that's when ebooks were starting to lift up, and I was like, what the fuck's an ebook, right? And he's like, I bought it for $29.99. I was like, all right, whatever, man. So we open it up, and it's just like it was meant for guys traveling, and I was just like laughing. We're reading this, or like this is impossible, right? And so we went to the Philippines, and it was. I'll tell you one thing. It was a culture shock for me, just because that like it's different when you land. Like if you land in daytime and land at nighttime, it's two completely different things. Like if you arrive at nighttime, you're good unless you end up in a bad area. But in the daytime, you land there, you're just like it's just a different type of city. It's like some parts are really really nice and industrious, and some parts are just like really poor. And you go through a couple of those going from one destination to the other, and it was a learning process. And we got technically scammed, cab scammed pretty much, where we paid like ridiculous times 10 that we would have paid for, should have, for the use of a cab. You went through that kind of stuff, but you just learn through it. But still, for me, it's cheap because like I mean, we ended up paying like $40 for a cab ride that should have cost us $5 around that time, right? But for me, wise, coming from Chicago going to O'Hare, if I took a cab, it was going to cost me $60 then, anyways. So it's
Right.
like it's still, it wasn't like, it's not a waste of money, but you learn as you go. But it was a learning process, man. Because like, the ebook that we got was worthless. I mean, you just like, I don't get it. My boy was cheap as hell, so he wanted to, he wanted to like pay cheap for hotels because it said in the book that you can get hotels for like $9 around that time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, staying at a $9 hotel around that time 20 years ago was still a crappy place.
Mm.
So it's like, you do what you have to do when you travel if you want to budget travel, but sometimes there are certain things in life that you should spend some money on. I truly believe that when you come to your travels, because you get what you pay for, especially in
Yeah.
the Philippines. So
Yeah.
even going to clubs around that time and bars and stuff like that, it was just it was if you go to the wrong bar, it's not going to be a fun place and everything and stuff like that. And um but you being a foreigner, you still, like for me, like especially now, I can speak Tagalog now, right? So even then, you were just completely different because like my boy's Puerto Rican. He's Puerto Rican as hell, right? So he's got the curly hairs, dark skin, and all that stuff, right? Like straight up Puerto Rican. And me, I don't look Filipino no matter what. And so it was just like, you stand out, and people do talk to you. People do approach you. People do enjoy, if they see that you're speaking English, they want to be able to, practice their English. If that's something they see. It was more curious for a lot of people for us because him and I would speak Spanish together. So
Mm.
people, so when we spoke Spanish, that was completely different. There's one thing where you speak English, there's one thing where you speak Spanish, and people were just like always gravitating towards hearing us speak Spanish and stuff like that. So that was actually pretty awesome. That actually got attention around that time. But I mean, English is perfectly fine in the Philippines.
Yeah, I think they said 90% of the people in the Philippines speak English or something like that.
Yeah, 95% of the Filipinos will, technically can speak English. But the question is, there's one thing where somebody can speak it or understand it. There's another thing where it's what we call conversational English,
Right.
and that's where there's a lot of problems that happens, especially if you deal with people with an accent. It's going to be a little bit harder because when Filipinos have English accent, it's really, really something that you have to get used to. We're used to, like, let's say, for example, somebody who's Mexican who speaks English, he's got that Mexican slang, right? So that's normal. It's more easier for us because we see that a lot in the States. But Filipinos speaking English, especially, they have a really, they have that Filipino accent, right? It gets
Right.
really tough. But majority of Filipinos, especially that I've been around with, they spoke really good English, like better than more fluent than some Americans I know.
Right. Right. Yeah, I've been noticing that as well. So what has your dating experience been like in the Philippines? What's that been like?
It goes both ways. So I mean, like, right now I'm in a relationship with somebody. Um,
Oh, okay. That's
but I
what's
mean,
up.
if it's like, it depends on each person. The biggest problem that you see a lot is that, like you said, that some people will tell you stuff like when you land, they're gonna, they're gonna pick you and all that stuff, right? And I always tell people, I was like, it's no difference than you're in the US. Are you gonna go for a girl that's gonna pick you? Because if a girl picks you, something's wrong. That's a red flag automatically. No woman should approach a man. So if a woman's approaching a man, right there alone, there's a problem. And so typically a lot of these guys would be like, oh man, this girl approached me. Well, good luck. Most of the time, majority of the time, that guy's gonna get scammed or that guy's gonna get uh fooled. And I tell that to people so much. And one question that needs to be addressed is each man coming to another country is completely different. What's your purpose? Are your purpose is for dating? Are your purpose is for to just have fun? What's your purpose? Are you there for pay to play? What's your purpose? Because if you approach things, if you go there to play around and think you're going to find somebody who's going to be good for dating, it's not going to happen because it's the wrong mentality that you have at that very moment. But I mean, in regards for dating, it's like anywhere else in the world. It's like hit or miss. You're going to get into a good relationship, but the relationship might not work out. Especially if you have like a long distance relationship, that's a lot of work. You know, I've been through that. I've recently been through that where I've had problems in a relationship. The relationship that I'm in right now. With stuff that I've done. Um, and just like anything else, your past will be held against you. Any woman does that. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So, but one thing that's nice is that if you find a good Filipino, if you try to remove all the red flags right away, be with them, you give them something of like where you want to be having a relationship with them, you want to be open, you want to be honest, and all those kind of things. Um, a Filipino will take good care of you, and that's I think that's a good part about that stuff.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So so what's cuz I'm like I know you've been to the Philippines quite often. Like what cities have you been to
Cities.
and which one is the best to you or would you recommend?
Oh, there's a lot of cities in the Philippines, right? I mean,
Yeah.
small and big and medium sized and stuff like that. So, I mean, I've been around a lot of places in Luzon, for example. So, if you look at the Metro Manila area, so when because people say Manila, right? Well, the question is it Manila or Metro Manila? Because when you start
Yeah.
looking at Metro Manila, that composes so many different cities within the Metro Manila area. There's
Yeah.
Manila, Makati, there's Quezon City, there's Las Piñas, there's all of that. So just within the Metro Manila area, you're going to be going to about I think 7 or 8 cities right there. And then,
Mhm.
if you start going up north, if you're going to go to like Pampanga, if you go to Pampanga, for example, that's where Angeles City is, that's where Mapalacat is, that's where Dao is, and stuff like that. So you have those. Then if you go to Cebu, you have Cebu City, which is the main place, and then there's smaller cities that are surrounding itself. By for me wise, I've been around a lot in Metro Manila area. Lived in Cavite, right? I lived in Cavite. Lived in when I was in the Visayas when I was young. I lived in Negros Occidental area, so I was by Bacolod and Escalante and stuff like that. So, but nowadays, if I was to choose a good place, I always tell people your first stop should be either Manila or Cebu. I don't recommend anybody coming to the Philippines for the first time and then going to like freaking the small areas, San Carlos, because somebody will always say, "Let's go to San Carlos," because somebody made it popular, and I was like, "That's wrong." Um, and somebody says, "Let's go to Dumaguete and stuff like that." And I was like, that's where foreigners die. Go ahead, please do. That's go there if you want to. You want to start off in the Cebu and Manila area. Those two are good places. If somebody asks me, Michael, where do I retire in the Philippines? And I'll ask them like, do you want a family? And if they say family, and I'll say maybe Bacolod, Iloilo, some parts of Cebu is nice also for retirement. I mean, even the Metro Manila area is also nice. But if somebody asks me where's the best place for somebody who's young, I say Quezon City and BGC.
Okay, now is BGC in Metro Manila?
Yes, actually it's in Taguig area.
Oh, okay. Because when Joanne was explaining that to me, it was so confusing. Like, because it was like you said, people get because I had no idea about Metro Manila and Manila being two completely different things. So I was
No,
kind of
it's Manila is in Metro Manila. We'll just say that.
Okay, got you. Okay, yeah, I think that's how she explained it to me because I was so confused. I was like, because she was like, "No, y'all gotta quit calling it that." I was like, "Okay." And when she explained it like how you did, it made sense. Because I'm like, man, that was so confusing. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, I'm like, is it just set up different over there? I'm like, I was lost for a second. So,
yeah, it gets
so
easy though, man.
Oh, okay, cool. So because I was actually considering going to Angeles City first. I'm like,
Okay.
but I'm kind of glad that I didn't. But would you recommend Angeles City as like a first place to go, or would you suggest that as like maybe like a second or third destination?
Well, it just depends on what you want to do. I mean, you can go to Angeles City, and if you're not the pay to play type, there's a lot of places in Angeles City to enjoy yourself. And I won't even say Angeles City. I'll just say Pampanga area. That's Pampanga area. Pampanga is the food capital of the Philippines. Some of the best food is made there. So you have that. So there's a lot of places to go there if you just want to enjoy, have fun without having to do the pay to play stuff. And you don't really have to do that stuff really. Um, so if you're not a pay to play type, then don't go, because the things that you can do in Pampanga, you can go ahead and enjoy yourself and do that in Makati area, Quezon City, and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. All right. So I'm like, so what are like the biggest cities? Because isn't it like Manila, Cebu, Angeles City? How do you pronounce the one start with a D?
Dumaguete?
Not well, Dumaguete. That's a little bit smaller, ain't it?
Yeah, it's small.
I
I
was
would say
thinking,
the biggest city is Davao. You're
is
saying
it
Davao. Davao.
yeah, dive out. Yeah, dive out. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah, so the top three would be Davao City, Cebu City, and Manila, right?
Okay.
Manila area. And the reason why I'm going to say that is because that's where you're going to see three of the international airports at. And as a traveler, you should go to places where you can get to the airport fast and exit, just in case something happens.
Mm-hmm.
Like imagine if you're in Dumaguete and you did something wrong, right? You did something wrong, and you need to escape the Philippines. You're going to have to take a boat. Take a boat to Cebu, and from where you land on the boat in Cebu, you still have to travel up to Cebu City to get to the airport. Like, you need an exit plan. And I think one of the biggest mistakes a lot of guys do or don't do when they travel is they don't have an exit plan. Like they really don't have an exit plan.
Oh,
Right?
wow.
That's the thing. Like you have to have a go bag. You have to have you always have to have a separate pocket where there's money just in case something happens. You have to have an exit plan when you travel to the Philippines or anywhere that you travel at all, because people get in trouble, and how are you going to escape? And some guys are willing to go visit a Filipina all the way. Let's say, for example, in you know some of the smaller islands, or go to the mountains and stuff like that. Like, you trusting people that easily, you know. So I always tell people, just always stay within the major airport area where you can get to it right away. And I'll even include Angela City because they have an international airport there as well now, Clark Airport, the old Clark Airport.
Oh, okay. So, what is so based on your experience,
Mhm.
what would be your advice for meeting women in the Philippines and like yeah, we'll start there.
These were one.
Yeah, like what would be your advice for guys coming to the Philippines wanting to meet women?
Decent women, then you know a lot of people, like in the U.S., right? One of our biggest things, like, never, you're never gonna find a good girl in a bar, right? That's a
Mhm,
big thing, right? They say in the U.S. all the time, right? In the
mhm,
Philippines, it's completely different. I mean, because Filipinos, what they enjoy gimmick. One things that you're gonna notice in the Philippines is there's a bar in every corner. Sometimes there's 5 bars almost in every street. So Filipinos love to go out. They always love to go out and eat and stuff like that. So I will never say that, don't go to a bar to meet Filipinos. Just don't go to a go-go bar and expect to wife one. Like some
mhm,
people out there say that you can wife yourself a bar. All right. So just don't do that. But typically coffee shops are great places to go to. Um, Small resto bars are fun to go to as well. Um, if there's like event, like for example, like in BGC, they have an open farmers market there every weekend. You can go there. That's a fun thing to kind of do. Um, that's if you want to go out there and meet people. Now, every guy, just because you can go out there, that doesn't mean you get to meet people. Because if you're a guy who's not good at having a conversation, you're kind of scared to open up with people. If you can't open up a set in the US, you're not going to be able to open a set in the Philippines.
mhm,
That's just the truth. Some guys say go to the mall. Yeah, hell yeah. Go to MOA, right? Mall of Asia, for example. It's one of the largest malls in Asia. Um, that's amazing. You should go over there. It's fun also. You can meet a lot of people, enjoy yourself there as well. Pretty much everywhere. I mean, that's the thing. You're gonna meet a lot of girls everywhere, but it's a matter of you being a person who's willing to actually start a conversation, right? So that's the whole main thing. And I always tell guys, if listen, guys, if you're listening, if a girl approaches you in the mall, she wants to get paid. Just to let you guys know, okay? If a girl approaches you in the mall, she's about to ask you for some money. That's all I can say.
mhm.
All right. If you're gonna go to Cebu City and you go to Ayala Mall, which is one of the nice malls in Cebu, all right. Ayala Mall is the most well-known mall in Cebu, other than Seaside, which is the biggest one. If you stay somewhere by Bo's coffee shop, you're in the second floor by the balcony. Don't hang out there, because girls are gonna be there's gonna be working girls over there.
Mm, okay then. All right. So what other red flags should they be looking for outside of that?
Red flags.
Yeah,
Um,
like 'cause that's definitely one right there. I'm like, I ain't trying to be bothered with them.
a lot of the red flags in the Philippines or women is pretty much the same thing. Women are women, right? So
Mm,
hypergamy exists everywhere.
yes.
Hypergamy exists everywhere, gentlemen. I mean, it baffles me how guys all of a sudden, they leave the US, come to another country, whether Colombia, Dominican Republic, Mexico, Philippines, Thailand, and you pretty much push thing out the door, right? All your understanding that you understood about whether you say manosphere belief, red pill belief, and all those kind of things, why does it disappear when you go to another country? It's like I see guys, making videos and stuff like that. Man, look, man, these girls are very feminine. I'm like, she's dressing hoochie like she ain't feminine, right? So, you have to watch out in regards for how they how they approach, how they talk, how they treat you, kind of. You definitely need to look at their social medias because Filipinos are addicted to social media. Okay,
Mhm.
so if they thoughting around, if they that's a red flag right away. If you look at their Facebook page and you see that there's thousands and thousands of freaking friends and stuff like that, that's a red flag. If you see majority of their friends are non-Filipinos, red flag. Okay, so that's all I can. That's unfortunate. Are there some maybe that have a lot of foreigner friends? Sure, but if a lot of them are in their Facebook or in their social media, that's a big red flag.
Mm.
They hunting. They hunting for you guys.
Yeah, you know what? I'm like the math adds up on that one. Let's see. I gotta see a few things here on the chat. Uh, said Brooklyn Kid says, Mike, have you been to Dumaguete? If so, how's it there? Because when I come back there, I want to go there because my fiance lives in Bilaron Island.
Dumaguete is nice. I mean, the reason I went to Dumaguete once because I taught a CPR class over there at the nursing college over there. Um,
Oh, okay.
so I was there for less than 48 hours. Dumaguete is nice, but Dumaguete also has a stigma, right? That's where a lot of the, we'll say, expats and foreigners go to pretty much retire or have fun, right? So a lot of the girls in the Dumaguete area, especially if they go for foreigners, um, I'll just say it's a big red flag.
Hmm.
Like it's, I hate to say it. I'm not now. Listen, I'm not saying all. There's going to be exception to the rules, gentlemen, right?
Mhm.
But you know, Dumaguete is the place where a lot of Filipinas know how to pick up a foreigner, and they pick up the foreigner. The foreigner thinks that they picked up the girl. Nah, they got picked up.
Wow. Okay. Uh, says, should a passport bro approach women by saying hello in English or kamusta in Tagalog? What is the etiquette?
It just all depends. Of course, if you're in Cebu, you're not gonna say kamusta, right? So it's kamusta is Tagalog, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
but that doesn't mean a Cebuano or a Ilonggo doesn't understand what kamusta mean. You can do both. Hello, hi, hello, musta. The thing is, when you approach, don't be creepy, right? But obviously, by you trying to use the language, right, it does kind of like, oh my god, a foreigner approached me and tried to speak Tagalog. Do it, whichever makes you feel good. But there's nothing wrong saying kamusta, or you don't even say kamusta because a lot of guys who don't really speak the language messes it up and they sound really dorky when they'll be like kamusta, right? Then you sound really weird. What you say is musta, mustana, mustana. So you don't say
Oh,
ka, you just say mustana.
oh, okay. Huh. Let's see. Says it cheaper. I guess we can talk about this because we were just talking
Yeah.
about this before we came on live. Says it cheaper to pay for an Airbnb, hotel, or a condo? Good question.
Airbnb is always going to be cheaper than hotels. I'll be honest about that. And most Airbnbs are condos anyways.
Mm-hmm.
So you're good for that. Now the question is, are you staying there long term? Are you staying there like in a 30 days, 60 days and stuff like that? Are you staying there for like 3, 4 days only in each area? So Airbnb is always going to be cheaper. Okay. I'll be honest about that. Than hotels. Because I mean, you can get a nice one bedroom condo for $39 in the Philippines, 39 $49 Airbnb in the Manila area. And it's going to be decent compared to a hotel, a $49 hotel in Metro Manila. You're be staying like at a Motel 6 type hotel.
Yeah.
So you wanna be wary about those kind of things and those kind of setups, and you'll see a big difference. Like, a lot of guys have seen in my channel. I've stayed at hotel, like in Cebu, for example. I stayed at the Shangri-La Hotel, right? Shangri-La Hotel in Cebu is like $400 a night. So I've stayed there, and that hotel is completely different than from a hotel that I stay at for $100. Okay, so it just also depends on where you are in the Philippines as much as possible. Then also understand that a one bedroom Airbnb, you need to ask them what type of one bedroom is it. Is it a true one bedroom or is it a converted one bedroom studio? because what they do is they have the studio that's elongated, that's like a rectangle shape, and what they do is they put a border to just put
Mhm.
to separate the by the window area or the ends from the main living room. So you need to find out first if is it a true one bedroom or is it a studio converted one bedroom, because there's the size is completely different. So it just all depends on how you handle things. Like for me, wise, if I do Airbnb, I'm always going to get a two-bedroom just because there's more room. I kind of like the more room type of feel. Back in the days when I used to do a lot of Airbnb, or when I would Airbnb in Cebu. But last time I was in Cebu, I I found a really nice hotel that's there. It's Citadines, or called Citadines. $60. It's a really nice hotel. Like I truly recommend Citadines or Citadines, whatever you call it. It's got like a rooftop infinity pool, gym up there and stuff like that. And they give you free breakfast at this buffet right down below. And they actually was the best breakfast buffet I've had in Cebu. So, and that's for free with the room for $60. So that's not bad at all.
Hmm.
So if somebody ever asks me where do you recommend to stay in Cebu, I always ask the question first, how much you want to spend. If you're willing to spend like $65, then I'll say Citadines or Citadines, whatever. If you want to spend a little bit more money, then of course that's when you be like, yo, Shangri-La it, and you'll be perfectly fine as well.
Okay. I mean, I would also suggest that, like, because it's kind of like you said also, depending on how long you want to stay. Because I'd imagine if you were staying, like, let's say, okay, so like for example, like Cebu, I'm kind of undecided whether it's like I'm gonna just stay for 7 days or 10 days. So like between those, do you think it would be cheaper to get an Airbnb or
Yeah.
cheaper to get a hotel, or
Well, like I said, what do you want to spend? Right.
right,
So I always tell people, like, I can give you suggestions, but you might not stay where I want to stay, right? Because we all
right,
have our different feelings on what type of place we want to stay at.
right.
So I want to know what your budget is or what your requirements are. If you're in that $60 range, then I'll say Citadines would be perfect. If you want to go a little bit lesser, $49, and you can Airbnb it. There's a couple nice Airbnb places like right on the Rotonda, right by in Cebu City itself, within the area of things. Or you can stay over at what do you call this thing? Cebu IT Park. So in Cebu IT Park, it's known as, every building is pretty much all call centers. So it's a city that was built to house call centers. So that's where you find, if you call a call center nowadays, if you call anybody's 800 number for customer service, like Verizon, T-Mobile, all that stuff, it's in the Philippines. It's in Cebu, guaranteed more likely.
Mm-mm. Oh my, I gotta read this, man. I gotta
Yeah.
laugh out of this. Hold on. Hold on. What? If a bar girl cooks you breakfast the following morning, you better run.
Yo, listen, that's my boy Miyagi, right? Yo, Miyagi knows his stuff, man. Miyagi,
That's
and
hilarious.
Miyagi's actually in the Pampanga area and stuff like that. So,
Oh,
Miyagi
okay.
Miyagi knows his stuff, man. So, but yeah, if she's cooking you breakfast, yeah, she's about to straight up, hold you in. Because see, this is the problem, right? Like a lot of guys come in and they'll be like, "Oh my god, my Filipina cooked for me. This is amazing. The girls over in America doesn't cook and stuff like that." Blah blah blah. Yo, listen, it depends. Is she cook? Because listen, girls, Filipinas are amazing women and stuff like that. So if you find a good one, cooking is natural in the Philippines. So you
Right.
thinking that they're doing something special for you? No, they're not. That's normal. They have to eat too, right?
Mhm.
So don't be thinking that they cooked for you and all of a sudden, like, oh my God, no girls ever cooked for me. Tough luck, buddy. Right. And so, but if a bar girl's cooking for you, yeah, she's about to strangle you in. She's about to, like, I'm going to hold on to this money, this piggy bank pretty much.
Wow. Okay. Thank you for that, Miyagi. Oh man, remind me to stay away from the bar girls. Um, Interesting question. I'm guessing this must be a cultural thing.
Sure.
If I pick up a Filipina for a date from her family's home, what should I bring as a gift for the parents?
None.
Okay,
See, like,
so
look,
that's
that's
not a thing.
Yeah, well, you're gonna pay for her, for her ticket to get her out. Like, listen, so there's this thing called, um, not Akit Bahay. That's a gang in the Philippines. Um, so technically, if you are gonna court a girl, right, you're gonna ask for permission from the family. So typically, what the old school ways is you bring your family, you bring food, you you know, you go to the family and say, my son wants to date your daughter, and pamamanhikan. There you go. That's the word, pamamanhikan. And so that's the traditional ways. The funny thing that we're seeing a lot is a lot of the Filipinos, a lot of Filipino vloggers too, right, are pushing all these foreigners to do all these traditional things with Filipinas. And I'm laughing because Filipino men are not doing that anymore. But why is it that us foreigners are all of a sudden expected to do traditional things when those things are not being done in the Philippines anymore? So don't get caught up. Be like, oh, this is how, you hear a Filipino, this is how you're supposed to take care of a Filipina. No. I was like, why is my cost of entrance more than a regular person? So you have to watch those kind of things. Now, if she's a good girl, if you want to do it right, you want to, and you vetted her, you vetted everything, then go do it. But if you're just dating a girl, right, pick her up. You want if you want to do something, then I don't know, bring a cake or something from Goldilocks. That'll be good enough. Right, Goldilocks is one of the famous, one of the known bakeries in the Philippines. Go get yourself a brazo de Mercedes. Bring it up to the family. That's going to cost you like $10. Here's some brazo de Mercedes, whatever, and take the girl on the date. But I mean, you can do the traditional way. Let me send. This is the best way if you guys want to do it. Go send over them a freaking Grab car, which is the Uber of the Philippines. Have them get picked up by the Grab. Then go meet them at the place that you're supposed to meet. It's funny how when you see a lot of these foreigners, I mean, you guys can look it up if you guys ever see, first time meeting your Filipina, whatever, and then you see these dudes being, they get picked up at the airport, and there's nothing wrong being picked up by a girl that you're already with, right? If that's the thing, but why is she bringing her family, right? Then you see these guys the first night, they're not with the girl, they're with the whole family, and guess who's gonna pay for the food of the family? You are. So that why? All right, why? Unless if you've been in a relationship with them already, you've seen them already once, and you go back, sure, fine. That's fine by me. But it's the first time that you're gonna pick up a girl. No, you shouldn't have to do that. It's not required.
Right. So let me ask you this, because I've always been kind of curious about this, because I think you've already. I guess this is an okay thing, and that because see, I'm very. I try to be very mindful of different things when it comes to culture, because they may not do, because I know certain things aren't allowed in certain countries. So it's like things like cold approach and public affection, that is not those things are not an issue. That's not something like you can get in trouble for or anything, right?
Oh, you mean like in Muslim countries? No. There's a lot of PDAs in the Philippines. I mean, sometimes there's more PDAs in the Philippines than in the U.S. So just depends on where you go. So no, there's nothing wrong with that. Cold approach. It's still the same exact thing everywhere, right? So like I said, I mean, there's this, people always say if you approach a girl, if you're decent looking, it's okay. If you're creepy looking, it's wrong, right? So don't be creepy when you approach. I mean, if you're very creepy, you have to be mindful about yourself. Look at the mirror, practice your game, whatever, and stuff like that, right? So there is, because you have to understand, in the Philippines there is a law. It's called the 11313 law, right? It's called the Bawal Bastos law, where if a girl feels that you were being creepy, they can charge you with harassment. So there is a law based in the Philippines, right? It's because local guys are catcalling Filipinas, approaching them like really weird, like doing that stuff. Don't be bastos. Don't be don't be one of the sick people. Don't be creepy, right? So we also have to be mindful about yourself, like know yourself, like for example, right? I have a video talking about what Filipina kind of looks feel that they're what they like to see a guy with dressed up. Like how do they like you to present yourself in a way, right? And
Right.
guys get mad when I say don't wear cargo shorts, don't wear Hawaiian shirts because you're not in Hawaii, right? There's certain there's certain things that you shouldn't do. Like dress proper, right? But guys would be like, "But I'm on vacation." I was like, "Yeah, I understand that, but if you want to meet somebody, then dress proper. Dress the dress to the right occasion, kinda, right? So, if you're in the beach, fine, wear something beach out clothing, but, if you're in the middle of the city, you wanna approach people, you really wanna be wearing shorts? So, it's like,
Right.
just dress proper, don't be creepy and stuff like that, but, there's nothing wrong doing cold approach. I mean, everything that we do in life is a cold approach. Every time that we meet somebody, talk to somebody, it's always gonna be a cold approach, right?
Yeah.
And that's natural in business. People that have my future, people that have my money, right, is are people I don't know. So I have to cold approach these people. So, that's where guys should learn. And that's why I said earlier, guys who are unfortunately have approach anxiety where they live, they're going to have approach anxiety in the Philippines even more, you know?
Mm, yeah, that's facts. So, because I actually asked somebody else that been to the Philippines, and funny thing that happened, man, and it's funny too because he happens to watch my channel too.
Mm,
Me and him had a bit of a fallout because it's weird. Mike, I literally asked
uh-huh.
this man, "Hey, yo, I'm packing for the Philippines. What do you think I should wear?" This man went on a complete tangent saying that the only time that I ask him that I hit him up or call him or text him is when I want something. The only time I've asked him for something is when I was trying to find out what I should pack for the Philippines, which was just a few days ago,
Mm,
and I asked him about the documentation that you have to fill out that's similar to the check mig form.
mhm.
Outside of those two things, Mike, I've never asked him for anything else in my life. I've hardly been in contact. I'm like, we didn't start keeping contact till I was in Colombia because he
Mhm.
hit me up while I was in Colombia and just kind of kept in contact since then. And he said, "Hey, hey, if you need any help, need any advice, reach out to me." I'm like, I asked him those two questions, and it was like all of a sudden he was, "Man, you only hit me up when you want something." I was like, "Dude, you over here acting like I'm asking you for a loan or something." I was like,
Exactly.
I was like, I just want to make sure I'm not like packing. I'm like, I just want to make sure I'm not packing unnecessary shit when I go to the Philippines. I was like, I was just mind blown because I think he was upset because he tried to call me right before I went on a live,
Uh-huh.
and it was like 10 minutes before we went live. So it was like I wasn't trying to rush on the phone only to rush him off of the phone. So I just forwarded his message, but I text him and let him know, like, hey, I couldn't answer because I'm like, I'm getting ready to go live, man. Like, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, but after that, I never heard back from him. So it was like, if you were really that upset or you really needed something or it was an emergency, I'm like, he could have just texted me back and let me know because he was trying to say, he was trying to guilt trip me and say, like, what if you needed something? I'm like, right, but I text you right back after I forwarded the message and I didn't hear
Mhm.
back from you. So
Yeah.
it must not have been that important. But I'm like, I think he just wanted to talk my ear off because he's one of those guys that just like to talk. That's
That
all it
sucks.
was.
I mean, but,
That
but
was
that's what you do with your boys, right? Like, "Bro, how do I do this?" You
mm,
know? "What do I need for this? How do I make it better? How do I not have to, like, create stuff?" I mean, yeah, well, he probably had a bad day. I'll just give him that.
yeah.
Maybe he had a bad day.
Yeah, I don't know what that was about. Let me get to these super chats right
Yep.
quick. Art of Will in the building. What's going on, Art of Will? Said
Yo, what's up,
499
bro?
super chat says needed to take a break from the smog of the manosphere to breathe the crisp air of the passport space. Yeah, the RP space and the manosphere space is a bit of a wreck right now. To say the least. Arta Will, $1.99 Super Chat says we need more men like Mike in this space. Yeah, I agree,
Appreciate it,
man.
Will.
Uh yeah, cause you know what? I'm like, cause when I first brought Mike on, I used to see a lot of people in the chat that were like indifferent about him. But it's funny, how when Helga true colors get shown, and Mike been trying to tell us for the longest, like, hey, watch out for this girl. She ain't who y'all think she is. And he's been saying the same thing about Filipina P. And then everybody was in my chat about a week or so ago over here talking about how the Filipina P had Helga on her channel.
Yep.
I was actually considering doing a reaction to it because it kind of blew my mind. Like, hold on.
Yo, listen, you go up against the
Those two
Filipina
on
P,
the
man.
channel?
You go up against the Filipina P, people are gonna hate you, bro. I got hacked, all right? Somebody hacked me for when they tried to like blackmail me and stuff like that. They were like, this and that. I was like, fuck you. Go ahead and show it. I was like, I don't care. I was like, it wasn't like nasty or raunchy, whatever. It's just personal stuff. I was like, go ahead, put it out. I was like, what are we gonna do? Right. So it's like, it's just funny. It's like you have to understand it's like a lot of these, a lot of these women in our space, right? And it's almost similar even to look at how just pearly things got exposed also, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have to understand if it's a man's space and there's women in our space, there's nothing wrong listening, but you have to be wary about it because they're still women. They cannot speak for us men. But when one cute woman comes in, guys go goo gaga. That's how a lot of guys get exposed on who they are. They're like, they start protecting them, and it's natural for men to protect women. There's nothing wrong with that. But you have to be wary about what they're saying because they're still going to be siding with women most of the time. And you have to watch out. That doesn't mean that you don't listen. As men, we have to be open. We have to be logical in things. And yeah, I mean, I've exposed Helga before she was even known. Heck, I don't even remember her name as being Helga. I just saw one of her TikToks and I was like, yo, this is a Filipina that you guys should not date. This is the type. And I literally broke her down. And you remember when you had that live with Helga, and I was like, I came in, like my boy was like, yo, Helga's over at Rome's. I was like, that's cool. Respect. I was like, you have to show all aspects of potential. And but people were trash talking me in your live, remember? And then I showed up, and Rome was like, "Ah, see what you guys did. He came out. He came in." And if people ever watch that live, the moment I jumped in and when you said I was on, look at Helga's face.
Yeah.
Before I commented, I was listening, and you could see her laughing because people were, you could tell that she was reading the comments about me and stuff like that. But when I came on, man. She changed. Her face changed.
Yeah.
And I was like, exactly.
And it's funny too because I saw people like watching the playback, and it was a couple people that commented and said that it seemed like you and Helga didn't have chemistry, but what they don't know is that one, that was her first time ever doing a show live, period.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, and then there was the other part that you just mentioned. I think she was a little bit uneasy, and yeah, I mean, because you were in a chat and she probably felt some type of way about it. So I don't know. I'm like, all in all, overall, I don't think she was comfortable from Jump Street in terms of that. Cause I mean, cause she even said so that she was really nervous, and I was just telling her like, look, just relax, just chill. I'm like, cause I'm like, at the time, like my audience loved her, so you know what I mean. And I was doing reactions to her, very somewhat frequently. I'm like, hell, I'm like, I don't. Even the Filipina P, I'm like, I think the last reaction I did to her was when she finally spoke up about, all the stuff that's being said between American women and foreign women. I'm like, but outside of that, man, I really haven't responded to Filipinas P's content too much. I'm like, Helga's, I'm like, that's old news. Like then Joanne kind of got in that mix, and Joanne's a firecracker, man.
Yeah, Joanne's a firecracker, so like, Joanne's a firecracker and stuff like that.
Well,
So
she don't play.
Yeah, she just goes on it. Joanne is what we call the your ate, the ate that protects you. She's one of those type of Filipinos.
Mm-hmm.
She's an ate, and so so I look at her as a little bit different compared to other people, but you still have to be wary as a guy because is there going to be a cross? Is there going to be something? But just be open, right? And take the good and then understand the bad stuff and stuff. But I mean, like, with the P, you won't see her do any lives, right? She'll do lives that she controls, where she's the moderator, but she won't visit another live ever again, right? So you haven't seen that happen at all. No, everyone will try to. Everyone, I bet there's so many people that probably ask her to do a live with her, and she never says yes. I wonder
Oh,
why,
okay.
right? So
Because
I mean,
I told my audience, because my audience been begging me to try to get. I'm like, yo, I tried, man,
yeah.
and I didn't hear anything. I still haven't heard anything back. I'm like, and
Mhm,
Lapu was the one who told me to reach out to her.
mhm.
But I do remember Sharon saying that Filipina P reached out to Sharon, not the other way around.
Yeah,
So
Sharon went to Filipina P's channel,
right,
but the Filipina P won't go to Sharon's channel.
interesting. Yeah,
You
that
know?
is weird. Because all the Filipinas that have been on my channel, have definitely welcomed me to their channel. So, oh, sorry about that.
No worries,
Uh,
man.
but yeah, I was saying, all the Filipinas that have been on my channel, they've all welcomed me onto theirs. So,
Mhm.
um, yeah. So for her to be like that, that is kind of weird, man. Then when you started telling me more stuff, I'm like, oh, okay, it kind of makes sense now.
Yeah,
Yeah, it always seems like she was. There's always been something. I mean, as much as I love her content, there's always been a little something in my mind that made me felt like P wasn't being like, how can I put it, as forthcoming as you would want. Like
mhm.
always seemed like there was just like she was all, I don't know, it's weird. I don't
Look,
know.
I'll be honest. Okay, so I give her props because she hustles, right? I'm gonna give credit where credit's due, right? So she hustles. She has a good channel. She has lots of followers, lots of subscribers, lots of viewers. It's good for her. I respect that. 90% of her videos, I'll even say 95% of her videos, I respect because it's good content. It's like, yo, this is good information for guys, this and that. Now, the dilemma I have with her is she has about 5% of her videos that are very feministic. And guys don't, and a lot of guys don't, you see, a lot of guys don't want to date in the US. They come back in the Philippines, date themselves somebody, a submissive Filipina, which is hilarious to me. Um, the thing those guys have to understand is that you have to watch out. And a lot of her content, the content that I don't agree with in hers is the thing that I react on, right? And I've done that. So, and a lot of guys hate that. It's unfortunate a lot of people hate it when I've done it because I'm like, yo, listen, just I'm not saying I'm correct and everything. Maybe I'm wrong, but you need to have another opposite, person saying, hey, pay attention to this. And she wants guys to when I mean, I won't go all in it, but she had a video where she told guys that if you take a girl's youth and you break up with her, you leave her, you should take care of her. You tell me I need to give a girlfriend alimony because because I took her youth? No, she chose to be in a relationship with an older man or somebody who's older or more mature or whatever, let's say. Why are we required to pay girlfriend alimony?
Yeah,
She said that. She
that's
mixed that with if you with a girl and you die, you should make sure you take care of her. Depends. Right? If I die and I've only been with a girl for a year, is it my responsibility to provide for her? Is it really? Am I
yeah,
married to her?
that's a
Right?
little bit.
She put it in there, and I'm surprised. There's a lot of guys that do that. Right? There's videos out there that guys will be like, yeah, when I break up with a girl, Filipino, I'm gonna give her like $500 a month for the next year. Why? Why? Right? I mean, unless you had a kid with her, then it's your responsibility. Do your job. If you fathered a child, your job is to provide for the kid, right? And that's just where I have stuff on her. And she talks about feminism and stuff like that. But she's hiding it now because she's got the passport bros, she's got the red pill guys because she'll make content for that. And good
Mhm.
for her. Right? If she can clickbait you and you pay and you want to Google Gaga over that, that's your fault. And if you get the wrong information, don't all of a sudden come back later on and be like, because I had a lot of guys that were hating on me that eventually, like a year later, they're like, when they finally arrived to the Philippines, they're like, "Yo, Mike, man, I should have listened to you." And I'm like, "Well, at least you know now." And I don't get mad at guys when they say that. I say, "Yo, we all learn from our mistakes, right?" So that's just
Yeah,
where
I
the
gotta
part of it.
say because when the fallout with Helga happened, I'm like, I didn't see Mike over here doing I told you so lap or any of that. Like
Nope.
you was very, very cool about it. You was
Yep.
very cool about
I didn't have to. Like
it.
that's like I mean, I don't thump my chest. That's something I don't
Right.
do, bro. I don't thump my chest. You know, in your live with Helga, when people were going crazy on that, you didn't see me talk crap in the chat at all.
Nah, you was very cool.
Yeah, because it's not my live. It's not my, you know, I'm a watcher at that moment. Why should I disrespect your live? That's there's guy rules. You know what I'm saying? That's why remember I told you, I'm like, bro, can we talk afterwards? You know, I reached out to you, right? I was like, afterwards, bro, let's have a conversation. I'll give you my side. Because where it is for me and you to have that relationship, that conversation, man to man. I don't need to, you know, go up in the live and be like try to protect myself and defend myself. It's not my place. It's not my channel, you know, and stuff like that. So that's just where how guys need to kind of learn. I mean, even like for example, when I had the little stuff where a lot of guys were like, I'm gonna do this, this and that. I was like, go do it. I was like, I don't care. And I had to like sit back, watched, you know, took care of some family stuff that I had to take care of. And I was like, right, cool. Now I'm gonna go back up and go crazy again a little bit. But the thing though is like, yo, listen to Filipina P. She if if she touches you in the right way that you're gonna get good information, go ahead and do it. But get more information from other people. You know, don't be just one-sided because, you'll be surprised that it may not apply for you. Like there's stuff that I talk about that may not apply for some guys, may not work for some guys. But that doesn't mean that they should not listen. But Helga is a funny one. Like I knew Helga was so fake back in the days already. I didn't need to puff my chest. Like I didn't go to every because when she started booming, I was like, I reached out to a lot of content creators. I was like, hey guys, watch out for this. You guys don't. The thing is, you see this one video of a person, but you don't. A lot of guys see a video that they make recently, but they don't go to their past, right? And knowing the girl's past is important, right? And a lot of guys don't do that. So if you actually went a year back, you would have seen her videos where she's trash talking foreigners. So it's like, hello, she's trash talking foreigners, guys. So it's like, but guys don't do that, right? They see, for example, here's a perfect example. A girl that's booming right now. I won't even mention her name. I'll do it this way. There's guys in the chat room right now that'll mention her name. She's booming right now. I call her the Filipina P 2.0, right? And she's started. I'm starting to see her in a lot of Manosphere, a lot of Red Pill, a lot of Passport Bro reaction videos, and I started laughing because she literally had one video that I did a reaction to, where she tried to get me copyrighted strike, but I won. She was talking about that for foreigners, it is a custom that when you land in the Philippines, this is her mom saying it, to open up your wallets.
The hell?
Open up your wallets. She said that you need to take on vacation or have a big party like a wedding, quote unquote. Have a party like a wedding is what she said. Okay. What is and she says you have to pay for her family on a vacation, the aunts and uncles, the neighbors and friends. And guys are eating this girl up like crazy.
Oh my god.
She's the Filipina P 2.0. And guys
I hope it's not somebody because it's been so many Filipinas popping up. I might have reacted to her already too.
You might have, bro. I think you did. I'll send you the video. I'll send you my video reaction of her on the side, bro. Like she tried to have me copyrighted strike, bro. Like she sent me a copyright strike, And I freaking won. I was like, no, normally how you'd be like, oh, let me just take down the video, just and just wait my 90 days, right? I was like, no, I'm fighting this one. I fought it and I won. I was like laughing. Yeah.
I was gonna say I actually came across one, a Filipina recently that I don't think I think she only got like a couple thousand subscribers,
Mm.
man. Clearly got a boob job. You know what? It's funny because when I saw her, her look kind of reminds me of Jim from the True Girl. She has a similar look to her. I think her name is like Emmeline or Emily or
I don't know.
something like that. I don't know. She was living in Thailand for a minute, but she's Filipina. I don't know. Like, I'm like, it's like a whole bunch of Filipinas popping up. Uh, Maya, Leia. I was actually trying to get Maya on the channel, but ain't hear back from her.
Well, I sent you got the video, right? That I sent you. Were you able to watch it? Because I accidentally took
oh
it down.
nah, that's the one that you need to send me again.
Oh yeah, I'll send it again, bro. I'll send it again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. When you watch that video about the Maya girl, you'll be surprised again. Like
Oh my god.
listen. I'm just like like here. I'm like I said. I tell guys like in the end, do you? In the end, you as a person, no matter what you pay attention to, what you listen to, you're still gonna mess up, right? It's part of it, but it's about when something happens, pivot. You have to learn how to pivot. Rather than just all of a sudden leave and disappear. That's why a lot of guys will say like, "Oh, I'm leaving the passport bro community." I respect guys who will say that, but my thing is that hold your ground, guys. Hold your ground, right? Because that's the main goal. Is like you're gonna get hit left and right no matter what because you have this certain belief, and when people are against that belief, they're gonna go against you. And so you have to stay into that level of things. You have to stay within your hold your grounds and don't let people make you move or budge once you make that decision. So it's like you just have to watch it pretty much. And when you come to the Philippines, I want you guys to understand it's no difference. There's no different. Because like your money is the same exact thing in the Philippines. I mean, Starbucks in the Philippines costs almost the same exact thing as Starbucks in the US. That tells you it's the same thing. It just looks good because you have more money because it's 50 pesos to the dollar, 56 right now, something like that. So, so you have to watch yourself what you're doing and just adjust as you go, man. It's like, but the Philippines is fun. You can enjoy yourself a lot, but don't get dragged in by what you hear from a lot of women, the Filipino vloggers, and also you have to pay attention to even like I said, I'm not always right, okay? But the old cats, watch out what they're teaching you. The older guys are gonna mess you up
Me
because
and Glow.
those guys are still running the way they ran during the 80s and 70s. It's the freaking 2000s, guys. It's 2023. Their mindset is different than yours. So if you're taking, people say knowledge is power, but what if the knowledge you're getting is the wrong knowledge? Is it still powerful for you? No.
That's a good point. Because there's some OGs in this space that have had their feet put to the fire, so to speak. I'm gonna just say that. And I've been we'll have to have that discussion behind closed doors.
Yeah, of course.
Because me and Global Passport Crew had this conversation as well. Hold on, man. Is that Ron? Well, he done changed his name. Cerebral Aptitude, $5 super chat. Man, what's going on, brother? I ain't seen him in here in a long time. He actually used to be married to a Filipina, and then he was dating a badass Brazilian chick for a minute, and then
awesome.
I don't know, man. Ronnie running through him, bro. Says I have no sympathy for any king who stays in the matrix and still doesn't realize the paradise and appreciation they get from females and life abroad. All right, thank you for the $5 super chat, man. Appreciate that, man. It's good to see you, brother. I ain't seen you in a while. That's what's up, man.
One thing I say about the Matrix is this, like, because everybody has their own mindset about the Matrix. When you're alive, you're in the Matrix. It doesn't matter what country you're in. You're just in a different part of the Matrix. Because if hypergamy is the same exact thing anywhere in the world, that's why I tell people, if you're finding a girl, doesn't matter where you are in the world, what's her hypergamy rating? Like most men don't even know how to calculate a girl's hypergamy rating, which is the worst thing ever. Right? So, and if you can't afford the hypergamy rating that she has, you shouldn't even date the girl.
Valid point. Wow. Oh, I'ma just let you look at the chat because they ever since you mentioned
Filipina P 2.0.
Yeah, everybody's saying the same person.
That's
you know what? That was like the last person I was thinking of too, because I think I've only reacted to maybe like one of her videos, and that was a long time ago. But it was a good reaction, man, because oh man, she was doing a video on, let's see. Yeah, I remember that. It was the video of I don't know how old these girls were, but they were trying to say women who look like Lizzo were tens, but then they would bring up a picture of like a really jacked and fit guy, and they would say he was a 0, and I was just kind of like, damn, like misandrous much? I mean, Jesus Christ.
Yo, listen.
You mean a man? You mean to tell me a man in tip-top shape is a 0, but a woman that's overweight and obese is a 10? I was like, oh nah, I can't do this shit. No. Like,
yo, listen, they make the between those two, they make good. They're starting. They know the algorithm now. They're playing with it, and guys are just guys are like being sucked in, man. It's crazy. You know, guys. Here's the problem. You hear guys when they hear what they like, when they hear these girls talk what they want to say. Oh, they're talking manosphere, red pill content. That's what we want. Finally, women in our side, right? Guys are loving that. But the thing though is that's a chameleon job. Because if a woman's talking about that stuff, that's a masculine frame. Women who are reacting to these type of stuff is in their masculine frame. Because that's what men are supposed to say, not women. We talk about that stuff. We talk about a woman shouldn't do this. No. When women start talking about that, that's them being in a masculine frame. Because they're not doing what they're supposed to be. They're supposed to make videos technically on what they want in a man, how to find that's where they need to stay. But guys don't pay attention to that. So a lot of these girls who are, we'll even say in the Philippine space and stuff like that, doing those things, they're just pandering to men. And listen, they're doing a good job hustling because guys are watching. But most guys are watching because they want to stare at these women. That's why they have a lot of these guys, that are, like a lot of guys are like, that are simping for these girls because this is their ideal woman. They're like hoping, I hope I meet a girl just like the P, the beauty. I was like, why? So I mean, the average guy, most guys in average who are coming to the Philippines, their dream is to find a Filipina P replica. Right? And I'm not trying to be mean about it. The P is a 3 at best.
Damn, Mike, I wouldn't have been
at best with makeup, maybe.
Damn, for real.
Like, listen. Like,
okay,
pay attention.
Hey,
most guys that are exposed to Filipinas who've never been to the Philippines yet, most men, they have a messed up rating, right? When we do categorizing 1 to 10, right? Why is that? Because most Filipinas that you see are in the dating apps. So a person that when you start looking, let's say 100 girls in the dating app, let's say, for example, like that, you're going to be, oh, she's a 10. because she's the best looking one here. But that girl might be only a 7 in real life. But because you misconstrued your view on how you see women. But if you've been to the Philippines, you go to, you meet people and stuff like that, you're like, yo, oh, I get it. Let me have to readjust. Like, I know guys who come to the Philippines and what they have buyer's remorse. Because like, man, I found me an 8. And they come to the Philippines, they get picked up at the airport by the woman and her family. And he's happy until he starts going to places and he's like, oh shit, buyer's remorse. She's not an 8. She's a 5. You just messed your freaking rating by 3. Right? So, and this is the thing, is like a lot of guys that hate on me for this and stuff like that. Like that's why I get like a lot of guys who are creating fake accounts of me, a lot of guys that are, hack me, a lot of guys that are doing that. You know why they're doing that? Because I'm exposing the unicorn dreams that a lot of these guys have. And the reason why I'm exposing it is because I actually want men to get the right person. And even if you get the right person, like if your dream is to meet a girl to, make her your wife, to finally be in that headspace and stuff like that, you can do that in the Philippines. There's a lot of choices in the Philippines. It's good for you. But even if you finally find that girl, there's one thing about meeting a girl, getting them into a relationship, and there's another thing in keeping a girl. We all know that. We've all had that girl that, we messed up that relationship with, right? There's a girl somewhere, most of us guys, if you dated around, that you met a girl that she should have been the one, but you messed up, right? And you're gonna mess up. If you're gonna open up your heart, there's always gonna be a chance that you're gonna get hurt. But that's the calculated risk that you must put. Some guys don't want to fall in love anymore, and I respect those guys as well. I respect a guy if he says, I don't want to get married, or I just want to play around, date around. Respect to you, right? Because as I give respect to those guys, I will say give respect to the guys who wants to find true love. The problem is when you end up falling in love with the wrong woman in the beginning, and there's the accountability that guys have to kind of have in place. And a lot of guys don't have accountability because a lot of guys like, oh, all these women are the same, and I'm like, yo, you chose that woman. And if we go by the Kevin Samuels thing, men give access to relationship, women give access to punani. So in that place, if you girlfriend a girl and it messed up, it's your fault because you agreed to be in that relationship.
Right. You are right.
And people need to understand is like, how you use the term simp when guys are simping and stuff like that. There's a difference between simping and if you're with a girl who's a good girl and you checked all the the red flags out, you got that good, you're in there good. It's not simping if you take care of that girl. There's nothing wrong with that. That's your job, to take care of a woman that you chose. The problem is men are simping for women that don't deserve their attention, that technically that guy should not even go after. There's a big difference that men need to understand with what simping is. And a lot of guys go to the Philippines to down simp. That's the epidemic in the Philippines. You're down simping. The reason why is that these girls should not even be in your level. You're trying to bring them up to your level, and you giving money. You're buying motorcycles. You're paying for load. You're buying them iPhones. Why? You just met them. Don't do it. Don't lose any money.
No, I'm like, I gotta chime in on what you said about the looks. That's why I was putting those chats up, because even a couple of guys, Professor Myks and
what's up, Professor?
yeah, even him and Cerebral Aptitude agreed with you. Like he said, P is a 3 or a 4 at best. Mike is correct on that. Too many men sipping over her. I don't know why. Then let's see. Oh yeah, Rodriguez Life said I would say P is below. Damn.
3 at its best. If that's gonna be my Kevin Samuels moment, let it be. A lot of people are gonna hate on this, bro. Just wait till people see my face in your thumbnail, man. When it finally goes around, people are gonna be like, "Oh, hell no."
Said there are plenty of gorgeous women out there to P, and I guess you were trying to say Rebeauty, or saying Rebeauty in another word, Reunis, below a 5 truly. Now I was gonna say like damn. You know what? Damn, like y'all make me want to readjust what I'm like.
You have
Now,
to
don't get me
readjust, man.
wrong. I didn't think P was like gorgeous or anything. I was gonna, based on what I, just from the little bit I've seen, I would say Filipina P looks average to me. Like she looks like the average Filipina, but y'all are saying she's below average. I'm like, Jesus.
Oh,
I'm like, I would have at least gave her a 5. Y'all don't even want to give P a 5. I'm like,
no.
damn, okay.
And that's not me going after her age yet.
Oh yeah, because I forgot P is like 31, 32, ain't she? She up there, ain't she?
A little bit up there, yeah.
Okay, I was gonna say I know she ain't in her 20s anymore. I know that much. Wow. Okay.
Gotta adjust it, man. When I say that, and people, this is the thing. Like, it's funny. Like, I get guys, they're like, you're just hating. I was like, no, I'm not hating. I'm just saying the truth. I'm just saying my truth. It's like guys don't like me having my opinion when they want to have an opinion about me. I was like, why? If you don't want me to have an opinion, you can't then have an opinion on me. I was like, you have to let, so you shouldn't comment if you don't want, it's like, it just doesn't make any sense. But that's the thing. It's like, and we talk about that, like even in the US, girls don't like guys rating women, yet women rate guys on our wealth, or women rate guys on, on our, on what we accomplish, right? That's how men are rated in the Western countries, is how what we accomplish. There's no difference in the Philippines. Women are going to rate you on your accomplishments. Can you take them to America? Can you move to the Philippines and give them a better life? That's accomplishments, right? And so, like, guys need to understand there's no difference. It's just different customs, different cultures, different ways of approaching, maybe, and different places to pick them up.
Yeah, you're right. Cause what I wanted to finish my thought on that. Cause when I was in Colombia, Jesus Christ, man, that the amount of attractive women that you see in itself is a culture shock. I mean, no, seriously, Mike, like I've never seen so many attractive women, like just like it seemed like no matter what part of the city that I went to, whether if I was at La Quachena, out in a street party, at the mall, restaurant, it was just like such a high concentration. And what's crazy thing about it is like everybody sees the videos of the girl that I was dating right before I came back. A lot of guys will say it's like damn, she's really cute, Rome. I'm like, what's so funny is like now that I've been there and I can compare and contrast to what's in the States. If I had to be honest, bro, I would say she's probably a Columbia 6.
Okay, so
it's weird. It's weird
I get it.
Because being down there, it was like, okay, she's attractive, but I saw a lot of women that were probably more attractive than her. So it's like, but I'm looking at the girl that I'm dating, like, if you was in the States, I'm like, you would be an 8, and you would probably be an 8 or a 9 to most guys. But based on what I'm seeing in Colombia, for real, you're like me, middle of the pack for real. Like, I'm like, and she a cute girl, but it's like compared to everything else I saw in Colombia, Jesus Christ.
I see where you're at and how you do the rating. See, I have a different rating scale, right? So, one people that need to understand. Give me 1 second here.
That's cool. Let me read off these super chats real quick. So the Art of Will, $1.99 super chat says, Mike, do you need a dating coach in the Philippines? Art of Will got too many jokes. Oh my God. Cerebral aptitude, $5 super chat says 21 years traveling. You have to stop going for the females. They will always be available. If you can't read a female, you are doomed. Preach, King Mike. That's what's up.
I appreciate that. Okay, so where was it? Okay, So talking about beauty and stuff like that, like how like they say Chicago 9 is a California is an LA 6, right? They have those little
Right.
terms like that, right?
Yeah.
So for me, the way I do beauty, and this is me. Now, listen, this is funny. Like guys would be like, "Why are you talking about women and about their beauty, how their looks and that? You ugly, Michael." I know I'm ugly. I'm a 5. And that's on a good day. All right. I'm not messing with that. I know my looks. I know where I am better. I'm better at conversations. That's how I can get women. I can if I have a good conversation, I'm good with that. Right. But once again, for me to be more attractive to a woman is what are my accomplishments in life, right? That's our job, man. Is because we're providers. Women are attracted to men as providers. And so, but going back to looks, beauty is everywhere. And this is what I learned from traveling the world. Is beauty is everywhere. So for me, if you're a 9 in the Philippines, right, you're going to be a 9 in the US. It doesn't matter what part of the US you are, because beauty is beauty, and you can actually calculate beauty. Because there's actually I forgot what I think it's a 5/16 rule or something like that. There's a certain rule in regards for you know the structure of the face, symmetry, and all that stuff. There's actually a real math number
Yeah.
for that.
Kevin Samuels used to go over that. Yeah.
Yeah. So people need to understand beauty is beauty. And guess what, guys? Ugly is ugly too. Right? If you ugly in the Philippines, you ugly in the US. But for some reason, guys go to Colombia, for example, or let's say, well, I can't use Colombia. Colombia is just like yeah. That's a whole different thing because you went to Barranquilla, bro. And I told you I lived in Barranquilla as well, right? So, but what you understand is like, why is it that all of a sudden in the U.S. if you bring people say this, don't bring your Filipina or your Latina to America because they may be a 6 because there's a lot of beautiful girls there, but when you bring them to the States, they a 9. No, it's like it doesn't freaking matter, right? So it's just they're just exotic. I'll say that. So don't change it. Like if they're a 9 in the Philippines, like if they're like guys come to the Philippines and all of a sudden they say the Filipina P is a I had guys tell me the Filipina P is a 10. I was like, where the f you from? Where you what? She's a 9. How? Tell me how she a 9, and then let's go play this game. All right, if she's a 9, then go ahead and look up this Filipina and stuff like that and tell me. You look up Yasi Pressman. Look at I can't mention one girl's name because if my girl hears me say that name, she gets pretty pissed, right? So I'm not even gonna try to start a fight. But that's my thing. It's like, yo, what are you talking about? She's not. Well, she's beautiful. She's good. I was like, let's go look at and we'll even use the Kevin Samuels thing. Right? What's a 5 is average. 6 is cute. 7 is pretty. 7 is 6 is 6 is cute. 7 is pretty. 7 is beautiful. 8, gorgeous and all. But moving up on the marks, there's big differences, and guys need to understand that, right? So it's like because when you miscalculate looks, which is easily calculated, okay, and you can say a +1 -1 or in regards for rating. So my 6 should be somebody's 7 or 5 in general, right? So like you need to look at that because what do you deserve? What do you want? Because before you start going out there, it's like, what do you feel you deserve as a guy? If a guy says, well, all I can really do is a 7, then fine. Then get yourself a 7. But don't all of a sudden try to say when she's really a 5 and you're going to call her a 7 just to make you happy. Because when I'm looking at your girl, I'm like, yo, she ugly. Right? I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I have no problem when guys call me ugly. I'm like, damn right. Because I know I am. I'm uglier than more than half of the guys. So fine by me. But I know I'm more accomplished than the average guys. So it's like, but in the Philippines, man, there's a lot of beautiful women over there. I just think that that's what's an amazing thing. You get a different you go to Thailand, they all look the same. Right? Thai girls look all the same. In average, most Thai girls have similar features. In the Philippines, there's different features, right? Because they have different bloods. They may be more Spanish, more Chinese. They might take a little bit more Malays in their blood. They might take a little bit more Indios in their lives. They might take more, so you get the ability to have different types of women in front of you easily. You know, so that's the beauty about the Philippines, man. And Philippines is where a lot of guys are going now, because
Yeah.
a lot of guys are exiting Brazil. Like here's a funny story. You were talking about earlier about Colombia, right? When you were in Colombia, like all the sixes, there's six there, but um, I, so when I got divorced, my boy did for me what I did for him, right? So my because remember I took my boy to the Philippines when he broke off his engagement, and she was half Filipina, so I
Yeah.
took him to the Philippines, and we went to the Philippines and went to Mexico. But me, my my ex-wife was Puerto Rican Dominican, right?
Oh,
She's Puerto Rican Dominican from the Bronx, right? Straight up like Bronx Latina and stuff like that, you know.
oh wow.
And so he was like, "We going to the Dominican Republic." That's what he told me to. I was like, "Let's go," because I've been to the DR like several times with my wife, my ex-wife. And so he goes with me to the DR. We go there, and we enter the club. And this fool, like, he doesn't mind me sharing the story because I share it all the time. This fool walked out of the club and left me because
What?
he got anxiety, bro. Because all his ideal type of women that he wanted was in that bar. Because he's Puerto Rican, right? So all
Right.
beautiful women, respect, right? He walks in, he's like, "Bro, I can't do this." It was his first anxiety attack because he was single too, and
Uh,
so he walked out on me. He left me. Like he goes, "I'm gonna go to a hotel," and then I see him walking around the streets. I'm like, I had to like call him, like, "Bro, get your ass over here." I was like, "What's wrong with you, man?" He goes, "Man," and he told me he had an anxiety attack because he's never been in a bar with that much beautiful women. And guys, you guys need to understand if you've never been to Colombia, if you've never been to the Philippines, and these are the women that are ideal for you that you like the most. When you enter that country, you are gonna have that experience. It's essential. It's a sense.
Facts.
Is it sensual overload or sense overload? Like you get
Yes.
overloaded because like what's going on, and then
Yes.
you get attention. They look at you or they have a conversation with you and stuff like that. You're just like, what the f is going on in here? That will
Uh,
happen in the Philippines. But what you have to understand is like they're all around there, but you still have to approach them because the good woman will not approach you. You have to approach them, right? They're going to be more friendly. They're not going to be like having that bitchy attitude. They're not going to have that, get out of me, get away from me. Like in the US, like you really have to have game. In the Philippines, a smile, a hello, a hi, a kamusta ka, musta ka na, those kind of things is sometimes all you need for them to open up and say, yeah, let's have a conversation. And then you still have to, you know, DHV yourself, put a higher value for yourself and lift yourself up and all that stuff. That's what you need to do still. Like, but yes, kamusta na, musta ka, hi, hello, what's up? That gets you in the door. Do it with a smile. And if they want to have a conversation with you, they will smile. Best one that you're going to get from a Filipina is if you say hello and she covers her mouth and smiles and giggles. Oh, you are in.
Yo,
That's
that's
the
what's
best one ever. When you
that's
say
what's up.
hello and she giggles and she covers her mouth, this is like she does this and be like smiles and looks at her friends. Yo, might get in trouble, but fine. And the girl's
Oh,
watching.
right. That's what's up. That's
My
what's
girl
up.
might be watching, so but
Uh,
she knows it, and that's the thing. It's like a lot of people need to understand that. And listen, um, when you find somebody, and you remove the red flags, go for it, go do it, man. You know,
mhm.
Cerebral says, hey, hello. He for real married a Filipina. Cerebral's like, hello, gusto ko talaga makilala ka.
Yeah.
So Cerebral says here, I really want to meet you. Cerebral, stop picking up some Filipinas, man.
Oh man. Speaking of which, $10 super chat says after I decide to sell my house with a profit of 350K and 300K in the bank, I still have to wait 7 years for 401K to mature and social to kick in, and I'm nervous about not having enough money to be honest. How?
Yeah, I get you, man.
Mm,
Like I sold one of my businesses like literally January. And I got, when you hear how much you sell it for, you're like, that's awesome, right? But then
Mm,
government takes half that money. So it's like,
gee,
damn, it's not worth that
gee,
much,
Jesus
you
Christ. Yeah.
know?
Yeah, because I remember I just heard about the guy that he won the lottery for like 2 billion.
He only got like 600 million.
Yeah, he only got like 600 million back. I'm like, good
Yeah.
God, they took that out. They took out that much in taxes.
Oh yeah, man.
Jesus, man.
Uh,
Like, man, I'm like, don't get me wrong. I mean, that's still a bag.
it's still a
Uh,
bag. Yeah, but you literally got what? 1/3? So it's like,
right. Like they almost, they
it's
almost, they
crazy.
almost took half of it. Jesus Christ. Craig, $5 super chat said, I think the looks change for American man perspective because many women in the U.S. are overweight. Slim women are minority in America. You know what, Craig? There is some truth to that, man. Because when I was in Colombia, man, Big Shirley was hard to find. Big Shirley was real hard to find in Colombia.
Except the big booty,
Dude, it's
that's easy to
like,
find.
yeah, I'm like, if anything, finding a curvy woman like with like no stomach was like like, oh my God, man. I tell you, as much as I'm looking forward to going to the Philippines, man.
It's different, man. Listen, it's completely different, okay? It's different
Man,
body types. Just let you know. If
yeah, I'm expecting it because I already know the Filipinas are a lot smaller. But Andre showed me some Filipinas that are curvy, so
no,
I'm not.
there's a lot of Filipinas that are curvy, but you're gonna find those in the city. Curvy girls are in the city, and I'm talking about the good curves. Okay, you're talking about, if you
Mhm,
like the, hourglass shaped Filipinas and stuff like that. That's city girls. Something in the
mhm.
water. That's not gonna be in the provinces. Let's be honest about where to find them.
Okay.
So because so that's where they need to kind of work on a lot of those things. Is that just depends on where you want to go.
Okay. I'll definitely keep that in mind. Original
Mhm.
man 50 $5 super chat says Rome had a dime while the so-called dating coach had a bottom. Oh yeah, he talking about that video. So I did a video a few weeks back
Mhm.
where I kind of clipped together my dates with the Colombian girl that I was with and
Mhm.
kind of compared it to Mr. Lucario's. I'm not sure if you're familiar with him.
No, I'm not actually.
Yeah, he's a red pill content creator and supposed to be a dating coach.
Got
I'm
it.
waiting for Arda Will to drop a joke about him now because he always dropping jokes about him.
Yeah,
But
Artewell is awesome, man.
yeah, and he was with this white chick and oh my God, it's so weird to see how somebody like him can be a dating coach. And I'm looking at the girl that he's in this video with, and I'm like, I just came from Colombia, and you mean to tell me that the chick that I was with was better looking than you, and you're supposed to be the dating coach? I'm kind of like, I'm like, I don't know, man. I'm like, I maybe I can kind of understand why he's against passport bros because
Mm.
if if you're giving out this information for men to get more attractive women, but then these same men see you with this very, I'm like, bro, if y'all think Filipina P is a 3, that girl that Lucario was with is every bit of a 3.
So before you gave that girl a 5, now you dropped it to a 3 then, right? So as if you since you're yo, see, Rome, look, bro, I got you to readjust your scale, bro. Listen, look at that, bro. I got you to adjust your beauty scale.
Like,
That's freaking
get
awesome,
that.
man. Woo.
Get that. If P is a 3, bro, that white girl Lucario was with, bro, she might have been a deuce. Cause I was looking at her like, and I'm comparing her to the chick that I'm with, and I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't even think the chick that I'm with is all that compared to other. I mean, like, bro, the place that I took her out to eat, the women that was working at the restaurant, I was kind of like you said, buyer's remorse. I'm looking at the women that serving us
Mm.
like, damn, they bad as. I'm like, dude, I'm like, and it's but see what I loved about Colombia, especially with her in particular, and maybe they're conscious of this.
Mm-hmm.
Competition anxiety. When I tell you this woman was holding my arm everywhere she went, she wanted people to know that she was with me because she saw the attention that I was getting. I mean, because I don't want to sit over here and say that. How can I put it? It was like some people say I could blend in, but at the same time, I don't think I didn't. I think some people can tell that, like once they saw that I wasn't speaking a whole lot because I
Mm-hmm.
don't know a whole lot of Spanish, I think they can kind of put two and two together and it was kind of like, oh, okay, you know what I mean? And I mean, I don't know. It's weird, but she was definitely mate guarding, man. Like, because even the second date, I mean, it was like just holding my arm everywhere we go, and I'm just kind of like, damn, well, like, okay, like, all right, I see what you about now. I'm like,
Yeah,
I see what they talking about.
yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, right? The thing though
Not at
is like
all.
the thing though where it's wrong is if you got yourself an Uggo protecting you. Then you're like, man, the
Mm,
banshee's protecting me. The damn gargoyle is protecting me, right? There's a big difference. Like somebody who's like below, we'll say even a five or below, and they got their arms wrapped around you trying to protect you and stuff like that. Then you know something's wrong, right? You'd be like, she really trying to protect you because she's like, I can't get better than this. You know what I'm saying? So, but so when a good looking girl, I think, does that, I think it's a very complimental thing. Now, there's a big difference between doing that and being like super jealous. That's a big difference, right?
right.
Where they get angry and when they get there's nothing wrong with them getting angry. It's only if they get kind of like cuckooish, like really, really cuckooish. I think that's when there is a problem that starts happening, right? So it's like, but there's nothing wrong with that because they know. Because that's the thing. A woman understands that whole thing. I mean, like who's the one who said the joke? I think it was Chris Rock, right? Where he says that, when a man sees another man with a good woman, he says, how can I find a woman like that? When a woman sees when a woman sees a woman with another man, she says, "How can I get him?" Right? So,
Mm,
so I think there's just a big difference in that
wow.
kind of a mindset. I think Chris Rock said that, if I'm correct, back in the days, in one of his old stand-ups,
Wow.
and it does make perfect sense because it does happen. And this is where guys don't understand. That's why I do a lot of translations for a lot of like there's this show called Tulfo in the Philippines, he's actually my girl's uncle. I just found that out like literally 2 months ago. And so I do this show of his and I translate it. And I'm showing guys that you guys need to understand. Like girls cheating in the Philippines happens in the Philippines. Okay. It's just, it's gonna happen, especially because the ratio in the Philippines between Filipino men and Filipino women is 1 to 1. So the choices for women of finding a higher value guy is way lesser. So it's a fight. So,
Mm,
guys, if you live in the Philippines, you really can have multiple women. Just don't get caught. And if you get caught, you might go to jail. So, don't do that. Right. So it's like,
well,
it's
unless you Muslim, right? Because I know there's like
yeah.
small parts of
You
Muslim
can get married,
there.
but you have to be able to afford them. How what
Right,
you provide one woman, you have to be able to afford and provide the same thing for the next woman. If you
right,
can't do that, you technically can't marry a second woman. And also the woman has to agree to it.
right,
Right? So
right.
there are some rules. Like I had some guys, I'm gonna convert to Muslim. I was like, yeah, don't. So it's up to, but if you want to, then do it. Like I have nothing wrong about the Muslim faith. I have nothing wrong with Christianity, different denomination, Catholics, whatever. I have no problem with that. My thing is converting just to give yourself a better chance of being with multiple women. That's wrong because that's not what you do with religion, right? That's not why you change religion, in my thing. But
Right.
yeah, there's a lot of portions in the Philippines in regards for Muslim, especially in the southern parts of the Philippines. Yeah, but even in northern part of Manila, there's a lot of Muslims over there. A lot of people that are vendors selling stuff in Baclaran and all those kind of things are Muslim.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool, cool.
And they
Uh,
cool people. Muslim, like a couple places. Like I befriend like the guys that are selling like the cigarettes, the individual cigarettes, the candy, the cigarette vendors in the streets and stuff like that. I always befriend those guys in certain areas, and those guys like defend me. like I
damn.
always go to those guys, like in Pampanga and stuff like that. I befriended a lot of those guys, and a lot of those guys like a couple times. Like there was one time where this one kid came up to me, he's like, boss, they're those foreigners are saying bad stuff about you. And he's like, just stay behind us. We'll protect you. I was like, all right, cool. So it's like, I mean, it doesn't matter where you go, but it's fun though, man.
Yeah,
Philippines is fun.
that's what's up. Got some more super chats here. Rodriguez Life, the
Yo, what's up, Rodriguez? What's up,
$5 super
man?
chat said, I've been to the Philippines with Mike and we both ain't no Mona Lisas, but we still got game there. And women
Yo,
open
just
to
to let you
all,
know,
yeah,
man,
all shapes, sizes, and colors. That's what's up.
his girl Asia is a beautiful woman, a very nice woman. I actually met them in Boracay. We all
Okay,
met
I
up.
was
We
gonna
had a
say
little,
because I'm looking at it like, damn, bro,
yeah.
you got a beauty on your arm, homie. I see you, bro.
Yo,
Jesus
and
Christ.
man, and no, and she was in the chat earlier on today. Asia was in the chat earlier on today.
Oh,
She's gonna
okay,
be
because I
she's
thought I
gonna be in a
saw.
couple. Yeah, she's gonna be in a
Okay.
couple movies in Netflix soon, and then she was also an extra in Godzilla, the new Godzilla coming out. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, so respect and stuff like that. Yeah, so that's the thing. Like we were in Boracay, man. We had fun. We all stayed at different hotels too. My boy Mog was in a different hotel. I was in a different hotel. You know, you know, Rodriguez Life. I'm not gonna say his main name because he doesn't have it here, but he was in a different hotel. So, but it was fun. We all met up. We went out to the other side of the island and stuff like that. Just hung out and stuff like that. So I think it was awesome. Man. I mean, that's something I think what's amazing is that you know, as men, we're in these spaces. We meet other people, and like-minded people, and learn from each other. We're not going to agree on everything on how we handle things, but if we can help each other better ourselves every single day, through these conversations, I think that's the most important thing that we've created in this space. You know.
Right. I was gonna say, man, because just my trip to Colombia alone, man, I one of the things that I took away from it the most was just meeting people from all different walks of life. Like
Mhm.
I must have met somebody from, I want to say maybe somewhere between 6 to 8 different countries. I met somebody from Canada.
Mm,
I met somebody from Turkey. I met somebody from France. I met somebody from Belgium. I met somebody from Brazil.
amazing.
I was just like, dude, to meet so many different people from all over the world, just in that one country. I'm like, it was, yeah, that was
Amazing.
definitely different. I was just like, man, that was some experience. I never thought I'd get to even like share that. Art of Will, let me see here, because he the king of the jokes, man. What do he got for us? He says, if you buy his sad boy member, oh God, if you buy his sad boy membership, he may allow you to take what? Allow you to take body shots off of his wife that has a C-section the shape of a
Yo, Arda Will can like throw some bombs out there. Even he surprises me all the time
bro.
when he throws
This
out bombs,
man,
man. That's so
he
wrong.
be having so many
Oh, you're
jokes,
so wrong, Will.
and he'll take a song and remix it and let it
Yeah.
go. I'm like, dude, I don't know how he just comes up with this off the top of his head consistently. Like it never fails. Shout out to
Yeah.
Art of Will, man. He's a character, bro.
Yes, he is.
Cerebral aptitude, $5 super chat says these kings will know how their girl is really into them when she is doing what mine does in the vids I sent you after 2 years. I'm still. Oh yeah, you talking about your Brazil? Oh my God, let me. Ooh. Um. Yeah, I can't. I'm not gonna say that. Because then YouTube they gonna throw this live in the yellow if I tell. She's taking care of him. Let's just say that. I'm gonna just say that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a good example, man. It's like the girl I'm dating right now, right? The girl that I've been with for a while, for several months now. Like, but we dated before. Um, I've never sent her money. I never had to. She's never asked me for money.
Oh, is she a
Right? But
Filipina?
yeah, she's been nice. She's a dentist.
Oh wow,
Um,
that's what's up.
but this is the thing, but guys are like the first time they meet a girl, within 2 days, they're like sending money already. I was like, yo, you buying her? I was like, stop buying. I was like, if a girl accepts your money before you even meet, then you just bought yourself a prostitute. You're just putting your reservation in. Like,
Oh, is this okay? Because I'm seeing some. Filipinas that I don't think I've seen in here before. It seems like a new Filipinas in my chat every time I go live. Is that Yami?
Okay, Yami. Okay, so messy. It's
You know her?
so no, I don't know her, but I'm like, do
Okay.
you get what she's saying?
I'm not sure what she's referring to. I was wondering maybe she was speaking to somebody else in the
So
chat or.
so let me translate it. This is Filipino. Yami, sabihin mo sa akin kung mali ako sa sinasabi mo, okay? Tell me if I'm wrong on what I'm saying about what you're saying. You're saying here, so Messi, it's very rare to American men, which is respectful. She's literally saying that it's very rare that Americans are respectful. So you're saying the majority of Americans are disrespectful? So Yami, this is the problem, okay? And I get it. I understand. But here's the thing. The question is, how is that possible that you know this? How many Americans have you been around with? So the question here, Yami, it's not the fact that majority of American men, that's rare. So you're saying majority men, American men are disrespectful. What it means is that the majority of American men that you surround yourself with, that you have relationships with, that you have conversations with, are disrespectful. So the question here is, it's your fault that you've surrounded yourself or you allowed yourself to put yourself around these type of men. So maybe you need to readjust how you talk to men. That's a you problem. Because in majority, American people are good people. The problem is you're getting the wrong ones. So have some accountability for yourself. Kung gusto mong magtagalog, magtagalog tayo. If you want me to speak Tagalog, I'll speak Tagalog to you. But, I get it. The problem is it's the American men that you surround yourself with. That's your problem.
Oh, okay. Like I guess we got another troll in here too, because somebody was saying, who is this Thai mayor or mayoree in
Mayuri.
the chat? Yeah. Let's see, because I'm seeing a couple of
Yeah,
chats
I've seen
that
a couple of words, yeah.
let's see. Let's start with this one. Be watchful and careful of Asian countries. American men spreading viruses all over the globe. Um, just so you know, there's actually more American women that are carrying viruses than men in our country. Just wanted to throw that out there, but
Yeah,
like yeah,
well,
it's the
well,
women that are country that are actually carrying all the STDs, not
actually,
men.
it's a more medical. It's a very medical sound. So Ty, I'm going to go ahead and give you a little bit of medical experience, okay? And this is coming from my anatomy and physiology stuff. Just to let you know, it's a lot easier for females to actually contract STDs, and the reason for that is just hello, for a guy to get an STD, we have a little small hole that we have to worry about, a little urethra, right, right on the tip. Whereas women, a lot open, a lot more moist and stuff like that. So a lot more women actually spread viruses more than men. And that's a medical fact.
Fact.
Just like to add to what Rome. So it's not just in America, in the whole world, women spread it more. While you spread the legs, you're spreading it too. Thank you so much, by the way, for HPV, ladies.
Right.
Come on now.
Yeah, seriously.
Let's speak facts.
Mm-mm. All right. Let's see. Oh man. Yeah, I ain't realized. I'm like, time been flying by so fast. I'm
These are good
usually,
conversations, man.
yeah, this
I'm
was a
enjoying
really
it,
good
man.
conversation. I'm usually like done by now.
Bro,
Yeah, I'm
why
like,
did it take this long for us to have a freaking live together? Have you ever noticed that? We've always like, bro, let's connect, let's connect. It's like months later, bro.
yeah. I'm like,
Oh man.
because I'm like, I really haven't had you on
Yeah.
since it was me, you, Global Passport Crew, and Andre. I'm like, I've been meaning to try to reach. Well, see Andre. He's, from what I can tell, looks like he's like in a real serious relationship right now, man. So he's kind of like, he just kind of been like focused on that. I know he's still traveling and stuff, but yeah, man. His shorty, man. She a baddie too. Good God, man. Yeah, bro. Shout out to Andre, man. Yeah. Uh, let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up because it's like
Yeah, no problem.
well over 2 hours. Um, yeah, it's almost midnight. Let's see. Think that was all the super. Okay, yeah, I wanted to make sure that was all the super chats. I think I got them all. Yeah, guys. Thanks for coming on tonight. I want to thank Mike Philippine Journey for coming on. I'm like, it's been a long time coming. I'm glad we were finally able to do this. The timing couldn't have been better.
Mhm.
So I'm like, if y'all guys that don't know that may have just came in, I'm actually leaving for the Philippines Tuesday morning.
Love
So
it.
I'm like, I should be. I'm like, I'll be landing Thursday evening, I believe.
Hey,
So
before anything, man, just want to make sure you're going to Boracay. Where station are you going to be staying in? Your station 1, station 2, station 3.
well,
Did you get
see,
a
I'm
hotel? You
well.
didn't get
That's the
hotels
thing.
yet?
That's the thing. I haven't even booked
Okay.
Boracay yet because I'm still debating on how long I want to stay in Cebu.
Okay.
Cause I'm like,
Yeah.
cause like I said, cause Joanne was like, Cebu's boring. You ain't nothing to do. I'm like, well, I'm supposed to be meeting other people there, so I'm
There's a
like,
couple good places.
I want to at least stay at least 7 to 10 days, and then I'll do the rest of that time in Boracay, and then from there I'll go to Thailand.
That's cool, man.
So,
And man, you got my number, you got my WhatsApp, bro. If you have any questions, man, man, just reach out to me, man. I got your back and stuff like that. But I mean, what's your budget? Here's the thing, because you got to do Boracay right, man. So I want to get this out of the way, just in case you get busy and enjoy yourself, right?
yeah,
In Boracay, what's your budget for a hotel? I need to ask that question.
Boracay.
Mhm.
I mean, it doesn't have. I mean, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be super nice. It just needs to be because I'm not looking for anything expensive. I just want something clean and that I'm like, long as it's clean, hot water works,
Okay.
and
Beachfront
I
property, beachfront,
right, and I mean, it doesn't have to be, but if it is, that's cool.
good beachfront.
And Wi-Fi, like that's like the most important thing.
Don't
Like
have
I
Wi-Fi.
gotta have good Wi-Fi.
Yeah, so just hit me up in the side to say, hey, Mike, this is what I'm trying to spend. You want to stay in hotels within station 2, station 1. Stay away from station 3. Okay, station 2 and station 1. That's where you want to be at. If
Okay,
so, because
so
station
what's
2 is in the middle of Boracay, and that's
yeah?
where all the parties at. That's where the middle mall is. The D mall is what they call it. So you're right there. Um, and then are you going to be having one of those pulley bags or backpack? Are you backpacking it?
Backpack.
Perfect. Just because just let you know when you get off the boat, bro. There's this little pontoon thing that you have to walk on, bro. Be careful, you might fall onto the water, bro. That thing just like the waves. When the waves goes up, it goes up with you. So
Oh
just yeah,
Lord.
oh, and if your bag is heavy, like if your bag is really really heavy, like when you're in the boat, you just ask one of the guys, hey, when we get off, can somebody carry my bag for me to the shore? And somebody, you just give them like, like 100 pesos, they'll carry your bag for you. You know what I'm saying? So because when you have something heavy, bro, man, that thing's like sway. Sometimes I've seen guys fall into the water. So it's like, so,
Oh
so
man.
yeah, dude, you want to be careful, bro. Like there's little things that you have to pay attention to as much as possible. So, but all the little tips, man. You got my number, man. Just give me a call. But you're hooking up with Jay, bro. So Jay, man, Black Filipino TV, Morris Life and stuff like that. That guy has a plethora of information, man. So I'm glad you're actually meeting up with him.
Yeah,
Jay's
man.
really cool kid.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, man. I think that's gonna be dope. Hell yeah,
Definitely, definitely,
man.
man.
Oh man. All right. Yeah, so I'm like, I'll definitely hit you up on that one. And again, you guys, man, everybody in the chat, I appreciate the super chats, cash apps as well. I know some guys been sending me cash apps throughout the week. I appreciate the love, you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up. Tomorrow, I am going to be doing a live reaction to a particular Filipina because I came across this video. I want to say like yesterday or earlier today, but it's kind of a long
Mhm.
video. It was kind of a long video, so I was like, I think it'll be good for a live reaction because I'm like the video is like 20-30 minutes long, so I was like, yeah, it has some juicy stuff in it, man. So I think it's gonna be interesting. I'm gonna do that tomorrow.
Did you
Um,
get this? Did you get your e-travel yet, man?
what's
Going to the
that?
Philippines? Okay, see, I'm glad. See, that's why we're having this conversation. Before you can enter the Philippines, man, within 7 days before your flight, you have to sign up with eTravel.
Oh yeah, that was the form that I was telling you about that
Yeah.
I asked the guy about. And
Do you want me to get you the link for it? So it's really easy. The new
yeah,
form is a lot easier than before.
Yeah, just
You have to
go
get
ahead and send me the link because
Okay.
he originally sent me the link, but after that whole fiasco with him, I ended up having to block him. But
I'll get you.
because
I'll get you
I
to sign.
blocked him, now I don't
And
got
then
access to the link anymore.
when you get this right, when you get this thing right here, just screenshot it, and just make sure you have it in your phone. So when you go through the lines, they're gonna ask for the QR code. You just have them scan the QR code and stuff like that. So screenshot it, because sometimes when you land in the Philippines, your internet might not be working right away for your phone because you have to reset it. So the last thing you want to do is try to go into it in your email. It might not be there. So just screenshot the thing, and then when you go through the line. So yeah, dude, I'll get you the link, man. So I just want to make sure. I want your travel to be as smooth as possible, man. You know?
Right. Yeah, because I was gonna actually go ahead and fill that out tomorrow anyway.
Okay, cool. I'll get you the link, man. After this, I gotta do one more thing. I gotta finish cleaning up, do laundry. But after that, I'll get you the link, bro. So you go through, and if there's any problems, you reach out to me, bro. You know I got your back and everything, man.
All right, cool. I appreciate it, man.
Man.
And I appreciate everybody coming in and watching tonight, man. We're gonna go ahead and shut it down. Appreciate the love, you guys. All right, and y'all know how we ride out. Deuces.
She belongs to the streets. Oh my God. What?
Brother on my arm, no brother on your arm. Take this man seat.